everybody, welcome back to our channel, welcome back for another video. We have got something a little bit fun today and this weekend. We are actually just off to Dieppe for the weekend. So a few weeks ago it was Jack's idea to book something spontaneous because we're both just a bit sick of the mundane routine of life, and to go somewhere like the Peak District, Lake District, anywhere like that is really expensive. And we are fortunate enough to live just down the road from basically, what is this, like docks?
Yeah, Newhaven Docks.
Yeah, Newhaven Docks. So yeah, we are basically off to Dieppe, but
yeah,
we just had a bit of a stressful time.
Yeah, we were obviously, yeah, just to kind of elaborate, I was looking into like long weekends and stuff, and it was just coming out, it was going to work out. You've got to drive, for us being on the southeast coast, like 5-6 hours. And it was going to be like 400, 500, 600 quid, then plus food and meals out and all that. As it happens, this weekend's going to be really nice weather, so it would have been a great weekend to do something in the UK.
I don't know, it'd be so hot.
But then it's almost too hot. And you know, like when you go to Europe, the heat's just different. Like I don't know, you can't explain it, but just hot England in the heat is just like disgusting. Not the same. So I literally just had a look as a bit of fun, because I was like, oh, obviously, you know, like always toy with the idea. The only downside, the Newhaven Dieppe crossing's 4 hours on the ferry, but gives us 4 hours to just switch off from the world for a bit. And yeah, I think ferry and Airbnb for 2 nights in Dieppe was like 120 quid. It was like, no, 180 quid. It was 60 quid each way on the ferry roughly, and I think the Airbnb was maybe, no, sorry, I think all in it was like 200 or just over 200 quid. It was like 60 quid on the each crossing, and then 120 quid for Airbnb for 2 nights. So we've got a little apartment, literally 5 minutes from the terminal crossing. Little bit of a stressful afternoon, as Corinne just said. We basically misjudged our timing, had to go food shopping, even though we both finished, water the plants, basically set up our self-watering system. Long story short, we literally rocked up at the check-in terminal as they were closing it at 4:15 when the ferry's at 5. Had to go to Halfords to get the light adapters because we didn't have them. Because
they're single-use stupid things.
So yeah, basically started this little mini holiday trip with a load of stress unnecessarily. That could have been avoided. Note to self, half a day at work or just have the day off when going. Sorry,
we're on a horrible sensation.
We're on a little bumpy
I guess it's like a speed thing, and we're obviously going too fast, because isn't that what happens? You only feel it when you're going a bit fast.
I don't know. Anyway, we're here, we're boarding the ferry, and we've got the long weekend, well not a long weekend, we've got a weekend in Dieppe. We would arrive late tonight. And then yeah, we've basically got 2 days.
My hands like jiggering.
2 days in Dieppe, so we're just boarding the ferry. First overseas trip in the new truck. Don't think we ever went overseas in the old truck.
No, I don't think we did. First trip on a ferry together.
That's where the that race finished, the Newhaven raft race.
Oh, okay. Yeah, first time on the ferry together. I've been with my mum, and Jack's probably, you've been with your parents?
Yeah,
when you were younger?
Yeah, I've been on the ferry a fair few times, but yeah, it's just trying to make the most of the fact we live.
Sorry, we were just going past loads of people and like basically stopping right next to the people that work here, so it's a bit awkward. Yeah, just trying to make the most of the fact that we literally live down the road, especially as we're probably eventually going to be moving a little bit more towards the Kent area. So then obviously suddenly Newhaven isn't on the doorstep. It's like 20 minutes away on a good drive. Obviously we hit all the afternoon traffic. So yeah, just you know, we might, obviously if this is successful, we might do it again and maybe bring our bikes and go a little bit more into France. But as it happened, I actually haven't got my bike this weekend, so it is a full, well today as well, 3 days with no bike. So I'm sure by Sunday I'm going to have withdrawal symptoms and probably wake up in the night pedalling in the bed. But where were you last night?
I was racing.
Racing his bike, so he has had his bike fixed. And that also was another element of stress, because we didn't get back till late last night. I was working late yesterday, so I couldn't pack till today, and it's just all been a bit of a disaster. But we're into the burnt toast theory, and we are hoping to have a lovely weekend. So hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Good morning team, we just thought we'd do a quick room tour because we got here really late last night and Jack was helping his friend with an electrical emergency. So this is the room. As you can see, we brought the fan from home, thank goodness we did because it was rather warm. We got a toilet just in here with a shower
and a sink. It's a little bit snug, but it's cute. And then we go down the stairs. Let me just bring my phone so I don't have to come back up here. Oh, they're quite steep and shallow, the stairs, so I'm just trying not to fall down. And then down here we have a kitchen area, very nice. I do like this brick slip effect. There's Jack in his luminous green. Then we have a little bit of a sofa living area. Front door's just there, fridge, and there's my makeshift curtain because as you can see it's quite light, and the shutters, for some reason we can't open the windows from the inside, probably for security I would imagine, to shut the shutters, so we will try and do that tonight just because it did keep me up last night, along with this guy's snoring. The lighting is terrible. Let's go this way. Yes. So a little update. So obviously we had our crossing. Is that a bit high? No, that's perfect. Last night, got off the boat eventually, probably what, like 10:15?
Yeah, it took a long time because we obviously didn't pay for like express, you know, get in the front of the queue.
But not even, I feel it took a long time to dock.
Yeah, dock, and then the passport control, you know, just the usual stuff. You kind of don't factor in. You think like, oh yeah, it's nice, we'll go to like New Haven to Dieppe because the ferry's long, but the trip to New Haven's easy, and we're staying just round the corner. But obviously Dieppe's quite a small town, so 5 miles kind of took a long time actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, it took a while to get off, and then got to our digs.
Took a wrong turn.
Took a wrong turn first. Had some very angry French person staring me down. Yeah, Wade was a bit sketchy. Had some French person staring me down as they went past. I was like, all right, you can send me an English reg car, so get over yourself. Anyway, got to our digs. And initially it was like, oh, we're here. And I was like, oh yeah, there is off-street parking. But oh God, it's like into this little courtyard we can show you in a bit. Really tight. So I was like, right, we're gonna have to reverse in because I'm not gonna be able to swing in off this small road like front ways.
And then turn in the car park.
So to reverse in, luckily with the new truck got cameras and sensors and everything, so it's fine. And I'm like, not to blow my own trumpet, but I'm quite good at actually driving. I beg to differ on the wrong side of the road. Forget racing, I drive a lot of different vehicles, so I'm quite good like just adapting to stuff on the road, so it's not a problem. I feel like you would panic.
Jack
in this
also
situation.
drives on the wrong side of the road a lot at home because he gets confused.
Well, the problem is I have just been doing this work event in the UK, driving left-hand drive Uruses in England. Now I'm coming with a right-hand drive to France. I just don't know what side of the road, what side the steering wheel is meant to be on anymore. So whatever. Just drive sort of in the middle, and then you can move either way to avoid what's coming. So yeah, we got here and we're like, okay, right, now we're reading the email, like, right, we've got a key code, we've got to find a key box because that's how we get our front door key. Couldn't find it. Anyway, in the end, it was on the left of this wall in this courtyard, but the front door of the place was on the back on the main road. So eventually, we found it after probably 10 minutes of scrabbling around. Yeah. Scrabbling around looking for this key code. And there was not much
signal either, so you couldn't load.
So I was trying to load like so then we got the key. Managed to get in the front door of the building because it's like an apartment block. There's like 4 or 5 different things in it, like an old building. Next job, trying to work out which apartment was ours because they were like, oh, first floor, but we were like, well, hang on, so it's technically ground floor and first floor. But
and some of the rooms had labels on them, but some of them didn't.
Yeah, so then we're like scrabbling around, couldn't work it out, tried keys in all the doors, opened the basement, like, don't think we're staying down there, and that was like, actually we're watching You, and I got the You vibes, like as if you're about to go down to Joe's basement with his his big box. I was like, oh, we're going to lock that and walk away. And then anyway, we did find it, so it is like the first door on the right.
Literally just out of the front door, isn't it?
Yeah, so after probably about, what, 10-15 minutes of like carrying our bags around and not really knowing, getting a real sweat on, we managed to get in. And then just as I got in, like I say, my mate, I think I can mention him, Ty, messaged me as like, got an emergency, and I'm thinking, is it a woman emergency? Is it like I'm drunk and need picking up, or you know, like no offence, but the usual sort of rubbish he comes to me with, and that isn't actually an emergency. And then he was like, no, an electrical emergency, like, you know, done this and this circuits trip. So I was like, okay, God. So it's like at this point, what, 11:30?
11 at least.
And yeah, I like rang in and then trying to talk through sorting that out, but it wasn't quite as easy a fix. And
yeah, it's like, God, I'm on holiday now, I'm talking about work, and we've had all these dramas. But anyway, we're here. We have slept, I think, a little. I mean, I slept quite well last night.
I barely slept, to be fair. You know when you just can't get to sleep, and it wasn't because any like particular thing. I just wasn't tired, but I kind of was. But because we had such a crazy evening from when we got off the boat, like on the boat, I was really, really tired. But from getting off the boat to getting here and actually winding down, I was like, I can't sleep now. And then the light was shining through, and then just as I was about to get to sleep, old Jack over here.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, I'm actually going to have to push you out the bed.
Have I got a black eye? No, I'm right.
So
anyway, that's an update of our life safari.
It's now 9:15.
9:15 in the morning. We're going to go for a little run and then go get some breakfast probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, see you in a bit.
We didn't actually show you these, so we went to the Ashford outlet the other day because Jack was racing nearby, and I was in the market for a new pair of running trainers because
and I wasn't, but here we go.
Yes, I was in the market for it because basically I have 2 pairs of trainers. So ordinarily I would just buy 1 pair of trainers, like decent trainers, and then wear them for absolutely everything, and then wonder why they get holes in them for like no reason basically. So last year I bought 2 pairs of trainers, 1 pair just for the gym, like a cheaper pair, not really cheap, but a cheaper pair, so that if they needed replacing them, I could replace them, and 1 slightly more expensive pair for running only. My cheaper gym pair have got the dreaded holes in them on the big, no, not the big toe, just the side, because I've been wearing them to spin because I need to get some cycling shoes. So I've downgraded my old running shoes to my gym shoes, and then I wanted some new running shoes, so I got these. And then Jack, yeah, very impulsively,
I mean, I did actually
got these. So here's our, what are yours, Jack?
Gel Nimbus 26 A6.
And mine are the Nova Blast 4s.
4.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I did actually.
Take it.
I feel like I did actually kind of not need them. I don't run a lot, obviously. I mainly cycle, but.
Says the guy who bashed out a 40-minute 10k.
Yeah, that was after I DNF'd my race last Sunday, and then wondered why I've been sore pretty much all week. No, I was fine by Thursday when I was racing, and I was good.
Oh, we need to put, not now, but we need to put our big toe hole preventers in.
Corin's got abnormally large big toes, and there's holes in all their shoes. God, my eyes look terrible at that angle. Like I'm a recovering boozer. I'm not. I'm actually just over 1 year sober now. Not because I've got a problem. I just sound like I'm a recovering alcoholic.
TED Talk with Jack.
No, so my daily runners I use are a couple of years old and quite battered. So I was like, you know what, I would like to try and do a bit more running in general because quite enjoy it. It's good to mix it up. So I was like, yeah, I can. Like you have to justify these things yourself. Are you like that, or is it just me? When you spend, I mean, these are over 100 quid. I feel like when you get to a certain amount of money you're spending, for me, it's probably anything over sort of, I don't know, 80 quid, up to about 80 quid you probably just do, but anything more than sort of 80 quid, you're like, that's quite a lot of money, I've probably got to justify it. So I was like, yeah, I've got my A6 Meta Speed Superflies in case I ever want to go really fast, which was a bit of an impulsive buy. But I've got these now, nice fresh set of daily runners for when I want to run occasionally.
And a little thing about Jack, just in case you haven't got that idea there, Jack's favourite colour is green.
My favourite colour is green.
So it was meant to be.
So I've got green shoes, green top.
I'm wearing green.
One of my bikes is green. And yeah.
Your bogies are green.
Yes, definitely. Anyway, we're going to go run now. See you in a bit.
Running down to the seafront. It's just like being at home down in Hastings or Dover with the white cliffs. Beautiful.
Looks like we're running that run.
So we're running down the promenade. It's very nice.
Actually racing.
It's really hot.
Can you see this? Hello again everybody. As you can see, well, me especially, Jack not really, are sweaty messes. So we went out, our intention was to do about 3k, but felt really, really good to be fair. So I said to Jack, let's push on to 4k. But the route that we were doing, we basically run along like the seafront. Jack took a couple of clips. and there was no shade at all, and we were basically in direct sunlight. So I said to Jack, can we maybe try and go to like a bit of shade, because there were some buildings on the other side of the road that was obviously sheltering the pavement, and we kind of ran out of road, was going a bit here, there, everywhere, and then we ended up in a market trying to dive around everybody, so that was not ideal. So then we again just took another turn, and I said, no, Jack, let's go this way. And it was at that moment I realised that I had completely messed up, because we were greeted by a lovely hill, and I hate hills, but I tried my best, tried to push on, got maybe about a third, probably not quite half of the way up, and had a really bad stitch, couldn't push through, could taste blood, and I said to Jack, no, sorry, I cannot carry on up this hill. And that was about 3.2k according to my watch. So we just turned around and ran home, and for me I stopped at 3.7 and Jack carried on because his watch was reading slightly further than mine, so he didn't have that far.
I like to round it up. I like round numbers when I can.
Me too, but there is also a hill here, and by that point I was absolutely cooked. So we're just enjoying a lovely beverage. Brought the fan down because it is so hot, and I naturally just get really hot, whereas I feel like Jack, with all his cycling, his heat training, he's very well adapted to the heat.
Yeah, to jump in on that, I definitely say that not just the riding, obviously having that endurance, but because obviously a lot of the indoor training and like obviously now I've got my sauna blanket. I haven't actually used it for a couple of weeks, to be fair, but racing on Thursday was very hot. It's been hot this week. Like, I've definitely noticed you do just deal with the heat better. It's incredible. You don't realise until you've done a bit.
But you're also just super fit.
Well, yeah, this year, like,
yeah,
no, not to blow my own trumpet, but like this year I've obviously ridden my bike more than I ever have before. Like, I set on Strava.
Oh, trust me, I know.
On the Strava, I've set the goal to try and hit 22,000 kilometres, and already, I'd say already, we're nearly halfway through the year, but we're at 10,500. So, you know, it's way more than I've ever ridden in any year, in any 12-month calendar year. So already at June. So yeah, I'm in definitely in the best shape of my life, you know, in that sense. My only downfall is I just have moments where I just fall off the wagon food-wise and do a bit of I like to call it a Jan Ulrich, and just eat everything and probably wallop on 2 or 3 kilos.
Yeah, let's talk about dinner last night. Let me come round. So obviously it was a 4-hour crossing from 5 o'clock English time. Lighting there's absolutely tragic.
Yeah, I know.
And
we got bored.
I got bored at 5:30, so it was going well after half an hour. So we were just having a bit of a wander around, try and see what food options there were.
Quite a small boat, so there's not much to see.
There was actually pizza and like a boozy bar, or like a buffet kind of like school dinner dining hall kind of situation where they had a few options. So we decided to go for that, didn't we? And we both had fish and chips.
Yeah, I had a bit of quiche as well.
Yeah, quiche.
Which then the woman didn't speak very good English, but basically I could have had a salad or rice, so I had a little bit of rice.
Or chips.
But I already had chips with the fish and chips.
Yeah. We had a dessert. I had like a eggy creme brulee custardy tart kind of thing.
I had an apple and cinnamon tart thing, and a little yoghurt. And then I had a little bag. We had a little Pepsi. Then I had a bag of M&Ms, not the little bag, but not the big share bag. The kind of like
medium.
Yeah, they'd probably say it's a share bag, but it's not. That is an adult.
Probably a share bag by today's standards.
That's an adult portion, like a normal. Like I could eat that. I could eat a big bag, but then you feel a bit sick. But I ate that, the 82-gram bag, no dramas, lovely.
And we
nearly fell asleep. I then proceeded to go and
just think about that.
No, I then got. No, that was it. Sorry, that was what I had. And then I was like, right, I want another drink. So we went for a walk. I got another Pepsi, and. Did I get anything else?
I got a peach iced
Oh no,
you got water
and an ice cream and a Snickers, and you had.
And I had a Toblerone.
Your mini Toblerone. I then proceeded to, when I wasn't really hungry, think I'm going to have a second dinner. So
well, no, it's because you said I've eaten all the sweet stuff and now I want something else. So I said, what, like a pizza? Because earlier in the evening when we were scouting out dinner choices, we said, didn't we, we'd maybe get something to share from the place and then get pizza to share, but we just completely messed up with that. And Jack was like, no, maybe some crisps. So I was like, oh, okay.
And
so he
bear in mind, they said on the tannoy that like, in half an hour we're going to stop serving hot food. So I thought,
and that was probably half an hour.
I was like, I'll probably miss the boat. Pardon the pun. Which we did nearly miss the boat actually. So anyway.
But then he toddled And I was like, oh, what have you got? Because he had something in his hand. And what did you go and get?
I went and got a pizza. I had the little thing that lights up and buzzes when it's ready. So I came back and was like, I've got a pizza. And she was like, what? I was like, but you literally said pizza. You put the idea in my head. Anyway, she did have one of the 4 slices.
Yeah, I couldn't resist because
it was actually,
we're on holiday.
For a box pizza, it was very nice. It was a ham and mozzarella one. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not an Italian pizza, but
that looks good.
it was nice. So yeah, yeah, I do. It's one of my downfalls is obviously I eat a lot generally because I do ride and train quite a lot, but I really struggle to dial back my eating when I'm not training. Like, so yesterday was a rest day, but it's like all the while I eat my normal, like it's weird, like as far as I'm aware, I'm not autistic, but it's almost like an autistic tendency that like all the while I eat exactly the same stuff every day. I have like my yogurt and oats for breakfast, my tuna rice for lunch. Like when I eat perfectly, don't crave any of the stuff. I can have the sweet stuff on the bike, no problem. As soon as I have something nice or different to my normal food, I just seem to just go a bit mental, and I'm like, right, I'm gonna behave like I've never eaten before, or I'm not gonna eat for a week and go a bit crazy.
I think it doesn't help that generally we are those people that when we go to the shop, we don't buy any snacks.
Yeah, I know.
So they're not in sight Monday to Friday. Yeah. Generally.
I wouldn't say I'm over restrictive. I'm trying to take my cycling seriously. So I like not restrict myself, but I'm very serious with my food prep and everything. But then when like the wheels come off, the wheels come off. And because I don't drink anymore, I probably make up for it by like eating even more, because I'm like, well, I don't drink, so I might as well just eat even more.
You were definitely bored of me eating yesterday.
Yes, it was.
But anyway, that is the update from us. Plans for today are, in a bit, we'll probably have a wash, freshen up, and my grandparents used to have a house in France before they passed away, and it got sold a couple of years ago, and me and my mum have made it a little thing for the last couple of years that we just come for a day trip to France, and we drive down that way and kind of like see the house, see what the people are doing to it. And last year they hadn't actually done anything to it, they were just kind of like levelling out the garden and stuff. And as we are only half an hour down the road from where I spent a lot of my childhood, I thought it'd be quite nice to take Jack on a trip down memory lane of where I spent a lot of my time growing up, show him my grandparents' house, just have a little bit of a wander about. There is also a beach not far from there, although being the day that it is and a weekend, I'm sure it'll be absolutely rammed, so we probably won't manage to get parked. But we're just going to basically see where the weekend takes us, but that is kind of one thing that we would like to do, and then anything else we will decide whenever. Yeah, so we'll check in with you in a bit. So we have made it, we're just driving past now. This is it at the top of the hill. And they haven't actually done anything to it since I saw it last year. Oh, there's actually people there now. So those are the lovely hedges, Jack, that I had to cut.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Oh. Hi guys.
They're so short. Hello, Mookouse.
Hi.
Hi.
I can probably tell we're English. Oh, look at all those flies, horrible. Bonjour.
Are you coming over?
Hi.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Hi. Are you gonna go up?
Hi.
So there it is. Just there. We're just going to walk up this way, just sit from a different angle for Jack, and then we'll probably head over to the beach and get some lunch.
Would you like a picture of your book?
Hello everybody, a little update from us. It is now nearly 8:30, and we realised that we haven't really checked in with you guys. So we went to see my grandparents' house, went for a little stroll up the road, then we made our way to a beach called Le Treport, because I thought that is where we always used to go to basically go to this particular restaurant and then obviously spend the afternoon on the beach. But I couldn't remember what the restaurant was called, so we literally just mapped to Le Treport. When we got there, I knew that it wasn't looking familiar, but I also haven't been there for probably maybe 12 years, so wasn't really sure what we were actually looking for. But I said to Jack, I know that the restaurant went down with an M. Tried to ask my mum, she couldn't really remember, but we had a little walk around where we were and we found this really nice restaurant. So we went there. I had some mussels and chips, and Jack had a burger and chips. I did take a little clip, so I'll put that in now. It's very nice. Then we went down the road, got an ice cream. Jack got 3 scoops and a waffle cone. I got 2 scoops and a waffle cone. We both said like it was nice, but it wasn't the best ice cream we've ever had in the world, which is a little bit of a shame, but you win some, you lose some. And then we made our way back here. We actually stopped off at McDonald's because we were both feeling really quite thirsty, and I was feeling personally quite tired because I had a bit of a bad night's sleep. So we went into McDonald's to get a Coke and came out with a coffee because it looked like it was an iced coffee on the menu, but it was not. It was a warm coffee, and we both said had we known that, then we could have just had that back at the room. But never mind. Jack got a Dime McFlurry as well because he's got an ice cream obsession at this point. Came back here and we just had a bit of a chill. Did actually have about 45 minutes to an hour nap. And we weren't going to go out for dinner because my lunch was really quite filling, and we had that at about 2, and Jack had a burger. However, it's now 8:30 and we are both feeling a little bit peckish, so we have got some strawberries that we brought from home, and we've also got a banana which we may still have later because we bought some cream from the shop. But we're just going to go out and maybe get some sushi or something a bit light, just because why not? We're on holiday, it's our only evening here for a meal, and like I say, we are feeling a little bit peckish. So Jack's just getting ready now, just downstairs. I'm ready already. It's still currently about 28 degrees, so very, very warm today. We had a little bit of a sit on the beach as well, and that was quite nice, although it was stones, but it wasn't stones, it was like boulders. They were enormous, really hot, and a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. So the beach element wasn't that fun, but we went in the sea, so it was quite nice. And yeah, we'll see where the evening takes us. Hello everybody, a little bit of phone cam. We're just heading back out now.
Back out, because we're at that age where if you wear smart shoes, you've got to change for a bit of comfort.
So we've just changed shoes. I'm not sure if we caught that in the last clip or not. So we went to our little sushi place. We got a 24-piece mixed maki, which was
tuna, salmon and avocado maki with something new for us, sweet soy sauce, as well as like normal sort of salty sauce. It's very nice actually.
Yeah. And we then got 8 pieces of basically pork spring rolls, 4 chicken gyozas,
and some
4 tempura prawns, and some rice, a little bit of miso soup, and like sauerkraut sort of salad-y thing. We're not
very
sure.
Nice.
But we're now just heading back out because, as Jack just said, it is the summer solstice, and
about 400
trying
degrees.
not to get hit by a car. It's really warm, it's light, we've had obviously a little bit of a siesta,
obviously
and
we're
the
in
town's
Europe.
booming.
Town's booming, but we're in Europe, so obviously it's lighter an hour later, so
it is nearly 10:15.
And it's literally
Who are we?
bright as anything.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go and have a little wander, maybe grab a drink somewhere, have a bit of a wander along the seafront maybe.
Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah.
Can and will be used against you in a court of law. What do you gotta say?
Homegrown strawberries from home. Overkill on the cream because we basically bought a whole pot of cream and we haven't had any, and we obviously leave tomorrow. Lovely. So we're just out having a little wander around in the lovely marina. Just had our pastries this morning. So we, again this morning, went for our run. It was about 4.2k on my watch. Do you know what yours was? Or 4.15, something like that. Much cooler today, a lot more of a breeze, which is quite nice actually.
Quite windy actually, like when we ran down the seafront and then we turned and went back the other way, and it was basically like a block headwind. Yeah. Well, not a block headwind, it was like a cross headwind coming in from the sea the whole way back, which was actually quite nice.
In terms of temperature control, yeah. So this is where we actually ran to this morning, Jack's telling me, and I thought we ran out of road, but actually you can go down this bit, so we're just going to have a little wander down there. Water's looking gorgeous. Jack's not looking too bad. Lovely day.
Tiger Woods teeing off at the green. Lovely.
Two, because Jack just fired it at the... Tidy. Massively overindulged at lunch. Very sunburnt. Trying to walk up to this castle thing up on the hill.